Oh, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or any other source you might be listening to this on. I know I just made a video last night, but there was something brought up in that video that I believe our Father is letting me know that I need to make another one to show everyone why I don't celebrate. That was about birthdays. Why I don't celebrate birthdays. Uh, Without having to show it in the scriptures, I think we all know, or we at least know that the Bible says. Because there's a lot of people that don't believe the Father is perfect. They don't believe the Father is righteous. They don't believe the Father is justified. I believe without a shadow of a doubt, with every fiber in my being. In fact, it's no more believing for me. I know it for a fact. In my house of God, we will worship the Father. That's in John 4. That's what Jesus says too. In my house of God, we will worship. This is covered in the book, The Older Greater than Jonas is here. But my house of God, which is my body, my mind, my soul, because I choose to worship the Father in spirit, I force all the other spirits that may be bound up within my body to worship the Father in spirit, just the same, because that's the choice I've made. Okay? So, as I told you last night, most every video that I'm going to make is going to start out like this in John 4, verses 23 and 24, because we're coming upon that hour. That hour is here. Okay? But this is the words of Jesus. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Okay? Now, we're going to dive into this little topic on the birthdays. And by the way, I will say, this will be a video that will not be as long as the other ones. I woke up this morning. The Father really made me feel like, I woke up feeling like, I need to explain why I don't celebrate birthdays. That's in the book of Job, and this is explained in detail in the book. I don't know, I guess I could see if I can find it real quick. Job 18 or Job 33. But anyway, our Father gives us our commandments while we sleep. He doesn't give us he gives all of us our instructions. Everybody, every living person on this earth, he gives us our instructions while we sleep. He seals them up in us. So when I woke up this morning, I was really feeling like I needed to make another video to explain why I don't. And yes, the scriptures say, be ready to give an answer of why you believe what you believe. And everything I believe comes from the Bible, in the Bible only. As Jesus said in John 4, I won't show it in the scriptures, when he was tempted by the devil, tempted by Satan, either way you want to look at it. Well, I don't know what I don't know what version of the Bible you're using, but when Jesus was tempted, Jesus says, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. So that's all I'm focused on, all right? So let's go into this thing on the birthdays. Now, I wanted to show, okay, you can talk to any Bible scholar, any Bible theologian, anybody that's got the Bible memorized, all 2,100 pages of it, or whatever. There's nowhere in it, okay, that we're commanded to celebrate birthdays in any way, shape, or form, okay? But there is an instance in the Old Testament, and there's an instance in the New Testament that birthdays are actually brought up. And yes, we will be looking at when Jesus was born, and we're going to look at the scriptures of that. And we're going to try to listen to what's actually being said there. Okay? But here I wanted to first bring this up. We're in the book of Genesis, chapter 40. This is Pharaoh's birthday. Chapter 40, verse 20. And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. Now, you hear what's being said? On his birthday, he did for others. It wasn't about doing for himself. You know, in the book, it shows this, and I've kind of touched bases on it the last couple of videos. Man is Satan. Our flesh is no good. It's worthless. It's Satan. Okay? The flesh is. It's the soul inside. Okay? That God breathed into man when man was born. That's 1 and 2. Okay? When God breathes life into us, we become a living soul. That's after the first 9 months we're in the mother's womb. You know, or there goes into Jesus came by water, not by water alone, water and blood. Everybody that's born came by water and blood. I think I touched base on that in the first video. Okay? Then God breathes life into him. Jesus in John 14 says, I'm the truth, the way, and the life. That life is what God breathed into every person on the planet when they come out of the mother's womb. All right? Everybody's the Son of God. Everybody's Jesus. Okay? But anyway, just wanted to show you this here on the birthdays. Now we're going to go to Matthew, and now it's King Herod's birthday. I keep wanting to call him Harold, but it's Herod's birthday. This is Matthew 14, verse 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod, wherein he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. Now hear that? What she would ask. He's going to do for her. He's doing for others. Nowhere in the Bible does it say we should do things for ourselves. It's all about loving our neighbor as we love ourselves. All right? And then, verse 8, and then she, being instructed of her mother, said, give me here John Baptist's head in a charger. And the king was sorry. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison, and his head was brought in a charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. He did this for his daughter on his birthday, just so the oath could be kept. It's about doing for others on their birthday. It's not about, look, it's my birthday, treat me special. No. It's my birthday, let me help you out. Let me serve you. Let me do you. So I can glorify the Father by giving me another year of life to help out the fellow servants and or vessels of God. That's what birthdays are all about. Their birthdays are not about glorifying thyself. They're not about glorifying you. All right? Now let's see here. What do I have in here next? Oh, this is when Jesus was born. I had it highlighted, but I did something wrong. All right, verse 11. That's what I was going to do. I was going to read this all. Check Matthew 2. We're going to go down to verse 11. Okay. And I know a lot of people say, and I know the birthdays, see, the way man celebrates birthday on this earth today is one of the traditions that Jesus said that makes the word of God of no effect, because the word of God is actually about loving others, not loving thyself more than others, not glorifying thyself before others. Actually, we do everything for others. That's what this is all about. All right? Okay. But now in Matthew 2, this is what I'm talking about when Jesus was born. Now we'll start at the beginning. We're only going to go to verse 11. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, what is he that is born King of the Jews, for we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judea, art not the least among the princes of Judea? For out of thee shall come a governor, that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, and said, Go and search diligently for the young child, and when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was born. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. Okay, this child was just born. Now, before we get into that, I kind of want to, how the star was in the east and everything. This is covered in detail in the book, Behold, a Greater Than Jonas is Here. But that's also talked about in Ezekiel, where that is an abomination to the Father, because that's people look, Jesus is the branch. That's what it's stated in Ezekiel. They put that branch to their nose. Okay, he's a branch off of God. Okay, that's all covered in the book. All right, but that star in the east, that if you're going through the book in Ezekiel, if you're reading it out loud, I'm not going to get into that. This is just to be covering why I don't celebrate birthdays. All right, but now let's just go to this verse 11, where when they brought him, presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. This is a child that was just born. Excuse me for a second. This is a child that was just born. Okay, what is a child that's just being born going to do with gold or frankincense or myrrh? That's for the parents to help raise the child. It's not for the child. It's my baby comes out of the womb. How long does it take them to even? They don't even know what gold is. They don't know what frankincense is or myrrh. We could look that up on eSource, but I seen something on eSource that I didn't like, so I'm not going to show it. But not that I said I didn't like what it was saying, but the number of myrrh is I don't like the number. I'll just put it that way. If y'all want to look it up on eSword, you can do that. But I don't like the number. But when Jesus was born, there's nothing in an infant child of a few days old that could actually do with anything. There's nothing an infant child, anybody knows that. An infant child can't do nothing but love and seek love from others. Anyway, that's not explaining it in detail. But now, I wanted to show, last night I mentioned Leviticus 10. I wanted to show this. Okay, I worship the Father in spirit. My house, me and my house, we will worship the Father in spirit. Okay, I know that he never commanded us to celebrate birthdays. Now, he does give a couple examples of the birthdays where we do for others and so forth. And by the way, can't remember where that is. It's in the book of Isaiah. But actually denying ourselves and completely helping others is the true fast that our Father asks of us. All right. that is just, I'm not going to show that right now. It'll be in one of the other videos later on. I've actually posted it on Facebook, but that's what the true fast is. But anyway, in Leviticus 10, and just the first two verses, and Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. And there went out fire from the Lord, and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. Now, as I touched last night in the video last night, that was a spiritual death, not a physical death. They was kicked off of that holy mountain. They could no longer work for the Father, because they wanted to change some of the ways of the Father. They wanted to add a little bit to the Father's perfection, or they wanted to take away. Obviously, they made a strange fire before the Father. So what they were actually adding to what the Father, more to what the Father commanded. Now the Father is perfect, righteous, and justified. So by doing this, they're actually telling the Father, your perfection is not enough. We need more. We think the people need more. Okay? The Bible is about helping others. The Bible is not about glorifying yourself. You know, an example the Father gives me, you know, that he said to make this in layman, the way to make it understandable in a situation where people could visualize it today in the environment we're in. He kind of, it's like, all right, let's say that you go out and you buy a brand new car. Let's go ahead, and one of my favorite cars is the Chevy Camaro or the Chevy Corvette. I just like the looks of them. All right, so let's just say you got you a new Corvette. I don't know what the top end speed, but let's say it do it 150 mile an hour. Speed limit on the road is 65. All right, you decide you're going to get on the interstate. You don't care who else is out there. You're just going to go 150 mile an hour. Speed limit's only 65. Now, when you get stopped by the cop, okay, you tell that cop, well, you know, I didn't think you'd mind. I mean, look who I am. Look what I'm doing. You don't mind me doing that. Well, you're wrong. You're most likely going to go to jail on the spot. Your car's going to get impounded. Okay? See, that's more or less what's going on there. If I say go ahead and honor birthdays, if I say, you know, wish everybody a happy birthday and all that, that is the same as me saying, Father, I don't believe you're perfect. And I know he's perfect. I know he's righteous. I know he's justified. I know he knows what he's doing. I am not going to sit here and go against what he tells me. I'm not going to lead an example of the ways of the world when I'm living for the Father. He's the only one I want to be with. All right. Now, I know the birthdays. See, and I know some of you are thinking that, okay, well, here, it's birthdays. Why don't you do for others? Now, I've told you in the first video, I live in my truck. I literally have no home. I guess I've got my daughter, I've got my granddaughters, I've got my son, my grandsons, my grandchildren with them, but I don't go there. I don't have an address. I have to borrow an address, so to speak, if I need to have something mailed to me. And then I have to wait till the Father to send me through there to get whatever I had mailed to me, or so be it. I do not have anywhere to go. So I'm not around people so that I can actually do for others on my birthday. But here's the upside to that. The Father has me helping and doing for others 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I'm always helping people. So why should I recognize my birthday as any day different than any other day? Now, that's why I started to say this in the Bible before, or in a video before. You can talk to any theologian or any Bible scholar, or anybody that's studied the Bible. Nowhere are we commanded in the Bible to celebrate birthdays. And today, even though people have studied the Bible for thousands and thousands of years, nobody actually knows the true date of the birth of Jesus. Why is that? I mean, yeah, there's speculations. He was born in the latter part of fall, October and so forth. And then, yes, I went through all that phase. But as in the book, everybody is the Son of God. Everybody is Jesus. So Jesus' birthday is 365 days a year. Okay? It's not one particular day. Everybody, remember, we got to worship God in spirit. We worship the Father in spirit. And then we realize that everybody in the entire world is actually what makes up the one Son of God, makes up Jesus. Jesus. I mean, this is all a spiritual workings. It's not, it's so different. Okay? But if I was to go out and start celebrating these days, that's me telling the Father that, like I said, I told you, my mind goes all over the Bible, and I can't stop that, and I won't try to stop it. All right? I'm not going to honor birthdays in any way because I'm not around people on my birthday. So any day of the year to me is like a birthday because I'm always helping people out, trying to do the best I can to help others. That's what this is all about, is loving our neighbor as we love ourselves. God dwells in everybody. So if we don't love our neighbor, we don't love God. I've covered that a bit in the other videos. Now, I say I'm by myself, and I am, in the flesh. But in the spirit, I'm never alone. That's what I've got to pause this because I wanted to show. Okay, I'm sorry about that, but Leviticus, right here, we're in Leviticus 20, verses 24 through 27. As I said, I'm always out, I'm by myself in the flesh. I'm not, but in the spirit, I'm never alone. And when I hear this, when I'm listening to the Bible, I hear the Father say this, and I feel like, sorry about that. I had to shut my CB off. I'm sitting here idling and had the CB on, and somebody was talking, some kind of distracting. I had to shut it off real quick. But anyway, I'm by myself in the flesh, but I'm never by myself in the spirit. So I wanted to read to you when I hear this, and it's always on my mind. Okay. And the Father reminded me of it this morning too when I first woke up. Because yes, when I first wake up, He's the first one. He's the first person. He's my first thought. He's in every thought I have throughout the day, and He's the last thought I have before I go to sleep. Okay, so it's all about the Father for me. Anyway, I wanted to read this to you in Leviticus 20, 24 through 27. So maybe that you can kind of understand what I feel. This is what the Father says to me directly. This is what I feel. Okay? But have I said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people. Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beast and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean. And ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I the Lord am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. A man also or woman that hath a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood shall be upon them. The Father is the only one for me that I will get any instructions from on anything. He has severed me from all other people. So yes, in the flesh, I'm always by myself. But in the spirit, I'm never by myself. He's always there. And this is where I wanted to show you in Psalms 90. He reminded me of this morning. And this is how he's like explained to them. This is how he brought it to my attention. Explain to them why you don't celebrate birthdays. Okay, so I am going to read the whole chapter of Psalm 139. Bear with me because you all know my reading skills and whatnot. All right, but I'm going to read this, and this like I said, when I listen to the Bible, I feel like he's talking to me personally. Okay, I mean that's just I've listened to it so many times. I've gotten to that point that I feel like it's a one-on-one conversation with us. He's always with me, and this explains it right here so well. Psalm 139. O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my downsitting and my uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest, am I saying that right? Compasses my path and my lying down. Thou and are acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain unto it. Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yeah, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelously are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee, when I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, and in thy book all my members are written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God! How great is the sum of them! If I could count them, there are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with thee. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men, for they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain. Do I not hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? And am not I grieved with those that rise up against me? I hate them with a perfect hatred, but I count them mine enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. He's with me no matter what I'm doing, no matter what I'm thinking, it doesn't matter. He's with me all the time. So yes, in the flesh, I'm away, severed from all other people, but I'm never alone. Never alone. And I'm not giving that up. I'm not going to say, oh, well, go ahead, let's do the birthday thing and make a fire that he did not command and be killed. That's not a physical death, but that's a spiritual death. Be thrust off of that mountain or through that mountain and have the Father say, you will no longer work in my tabernacle one-on-one with me, hands-on training, as you've been doing. I'm not giving that up for no man, under no circumstances. He's my Father. He's my rock. He's my fortress. He's everything. Without him, I am nothing. And I'm not giving that up for nobody. Anyway, I felt like Father was telling me, explain to them why you don't celebrate birthdays. And show them within the scriptures. There you go. That pretty well wraps it up. I mean, there's more to it, But I mean, that right there is the heart and soul of why I don't do birthdays. I will not do birthdays. I don't care who you are. It does not matter. Your father comes first. First, foremost. All right? Let me know what you think. Give me some ideas of what y'all want to hear about. I'm sure the Father's going to give me some more stuff to be talking about here later on. But anyway, I just felt like he was telling me to make another video, so I'm doing it. Whether I be right or be wrong, I accept chastisement if I'm wrong. He will correct me in my ways. As I just read in there, I want him to lead me in the right way. See y'all next time. Thanks.